Here we go. And hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the 2021 U.S. Amateur Team West. My name is Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me, as has been throughout the weekend, Grandmaster Nick DeFermian and FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. And wow, we're already here at round 5. 2 more rounds to go. And we have Civil War at the top of the leaderboard as the only 2 undefeated teams are both from Cal Berkeley. And the UC Berkeley A team is now facing the UC Berkeley B team, the only 2 undefeateds. This is the top board. International Master Kesa Viswanathan playing white for the A team against FIDE Master Ryan Tagazadi playing for the B team. And here we are. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome.
Which side are you rooting for, Abel?
It was funny because I was in the Discord chat earlier, and Ashrita Iswaran asked me, who are you going to be rooting for? And I said, so this match is between the A and the B team. I said, I'm going to be rooting for the C team. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously, I'm just glad to see 2 teams at the top, and let the chips fall where they may, and they seem to be playing it out. The round started at 1 p.m. It's 1:34, and here are the games. And actually, look at this board 2 game between Arjun Bharat and Timu Virtanen.
Black who we know to be a wild player.
And Timu's just played knight g4. Knight takes g4.
And you can't take that knight because of queen h4 check and bishop d4 check. But maybe you can throw in f5. F5 might win a piece. Queen h4. Queen h4, you just do queen takes. F5 has a real threat.
So maybe black should take on f5 first.
Oh, very good.
And then the rook is coming over across laterally.
And hello.
Oh, and that just guards the knight.
And hello, Alexi Root in the chat. And we have a result in one of the games.
Already?
Yeah, International Master John Donaldson got a quick draw with Jennifer Yu.
Yeah.
And this is
at black.
This is the position.
Okay.
And
John has got the long ball approach to chess.
Right, maybe due for a little break. He's faced some top. He's played Andre Gorovets and Kyron Griffith, and he's due for a little rest. And he won his last round game, so.
Yeah, and now he can coach the team.
That's right, like he coaches the U.S. team. And here, back to the top table between the 2 Berkeley teams, Ashrita Iswaran here is playing white for the A team against National Master Christopher Pan playing for the B team, who came up big for his team in beating Alex Costello in the previous round to score the win for the UC Berkeley B team.
Black is trying to open the game up for the bishops with b5. This is a hard one to call.
I might just take that pawn on b5.
Yeah.
Get those queenside squares.
Done. Pawn is taken.
And she does.
Yeah, nice practical solution. How old is Shritha?
She's probably
She a
like
junior?
19, 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So she's not like a junior.
No, 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 no.
And Christopher, what about his age?
Well, I mean, they're college students, so they're
I see.
20,
Okay.
21.
Right.
Oh, we've got all these old people there then.
Yeah, we've got like Patrick and Mark and
Oh, well, us ancient people, yeah.
And so while the UC Berkeley teams are fighting it out on the top table, on the second table, the two Berkeley teams, A and B, have 4 out of 4. Only one team is at 3.5, and they are on table 2 playing Caltech Team A. And this is the top board on that. Grandmaster Andrei Gorovets playing for the San Jose Chess Club Warriors, playing FIDE Master Jason Shih for Caltech.
lots of kind of Benoni structures, huh, Nick? Is that making a comeback in the chess world?
And then people are throwing their knight on G4 in this tournament.
Right. Hey, since I want to say shout out to Mike Walter. Mike, were you at the Alakushner
Simon?
simultaneous at the Mechanics Institute? Just asking him. After Lone Pine, no, he wasn't there. Okay.
You're talking about something 45 years ago, was it?
Yeah, there's a picture of my brother playing Alakushner at the Mechanics.
And that's because Carrie Lawless has been posting a lot of pictures in the history group,
Yeah.
Northern California history. And shout out to Carrie Lawless for doing that. Some awesome pictures he's been coming up with in the last couple of weeks.
It's incredible, actually. So what happens here? Black is fully, what would Mikhail Tal play?
But you could go check with the knight and then you don't lose it. Knight G40, 3 check, get the bishop, knight C4, bishop D4. Yeah, that's probably fine for black.
Yeah, gaining the dark squared bishop. Anything wild?
Yeah, there's something wild on board 2 of the top table between the Berkeley teams. We were looking at this game just a little while ago, but look at this with Arjun Bharat and Timu Virtanen.
It's, as you said, Paul, he took on F5 and then moved the bishop, B3 attacking the queen. Argent moved the queen to E1, stops queen H4.
And black has everything he could want in these kind of openings, right?
Well, yes, it should be good for black, but still white's got access to the king side. The knight probably has to move now. Oh, or do we throw in rook E1? Then the queen goes to D3.
Then bishop E5,
Bishop E5, and then maybe bishop F4.
and then rook E3. I don't know. Black has a lot of time to work this out. This is white skating on very thin ice here.
And back to this game with Ashrita and Christopher Pan. Ashrita just launching pawns.
Yeah, there's so many pawns on the 5th rank. It's quite remarkable. There's a lot of these games are reminding me of checkers somehow.
Okay, I like this move, take on A6. Somehow this is working out a bit better for the ones.
Yeah, very, very simple, practical play. There's going to be some pressure on down the B file. I don't know. Yeah.
But white's a pawn up. But yeah, I guess you're right. Black has a bit of bento gambit-like play on the.
And I want to jump to this a game that's going on table 3. It's between Alpha Zero Tech Support and Stanford A Team. This is Emily Nguyen for Stanford playing white and Keaton Kira playing black. When I was looking at it moments ago, it looked like there was some action, but it seems like things are getting traded out.
White has to be a little careful here. Maybe take with the queen.
That's the black king side's gotten broken up a little bit though from that H pawn.
And this is the board 2 game. On board 1 is here. Robert Shliaktenko for the Alpha Zero team is playing International Master Bryce Tiglon for Stanford.
Another wild looking game.
Yeah, I kind of like black's activity.
And black is up 2 pawns. What gives with that?
Well, white,
Yeah,
white opened the H file, huh?
But it's not checkmate on the H file.
So what about knight d5? Trying to play something like checkmate, you know?
Yeah, okay. Knight d5 has a lot of points.
I want to play knight e7 and rook h7 or something like that.
That could cause a lot of trouble.
And just for everyone watching, at around 2 o'clock, we will be joined by National Tournament Director Glenn Panner. He will be organizing the U.S. Amateur Team North, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we continue to follow the games.
Yeah, I mean, white must be thinking about that. Maybe knight e4 is the alternative.
Yeah, I don't know. Knight d5 is a little more forcing, and black probably has to go c3 to break things up there. Because yeah, that if queen d8, bishop g5, the
And then knight e7 check or something like that.
yes. Knight d5, c3, maybe bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3, knight takes c3. Knight f5 or something. Still looks quite fine for black.
I want to, after you play c3, I want to play knight e7 check anyway. You know?
Okay, I would charge up with king f7.
Yeah, I was afraid you would do that. And here Mike wants to play knight g5. And we should listen to Mike because
Okay, Mike is the attacker.
I kind of like that move too.
It's like if Mike would do it, then it feels fine.
Knight g5. But it only threatens really a pawn. but he wants to go knight g5 and then knight d5.
Well, look at Black's last move. Did Black retake a pawn on d6 with his knight to d6?
Yes.
Yeah, because it looks like it's sort of because of the thing about the chessboard. It looks like that's a kind of yeah, I can see why he did that, I suppose.
He didn't have to, but so if we do Mike's knight to g5 with the plan of knight d5.
I think he's also trying to play positionally, play the knight to e4 as well.
Let me do a check-in back
Tough game.
on the top table, and this is where we're at with Kessav for UC Berkeley A and Ryan Tagazadi for UC Berkeley B.
Well, if Black can scoop up that c pawn, he's on the verge of a massive advantage. On the verge of a massive advantage.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
Black looks good here.
Doesn't something like king f2, rook to c8, rook to e1.
There you
Black
go.
will stop with king f8. And yeah, it looks like he's getting that c pawn.
And then something desperate on the white side. I like Ryan's game here.
And going to board 2, back to this game.
This is board 1, right? This last game, yeah.
Yeah, last one was board 1.
Looks like White might have tried to push too much in that position. This Black is probably looking for the tall-like finish here. Or maybe he's just confused.
It's critical. If I were him, I would just retreat with knight to f6. I've got my pawn.
I've got my MTV.
Boy, it's been a while since I've heard that one. I want my MTV.
I've got my pawn. I've got my MTV. Rook e8 could also be met by queen 8, queen e8, and rook a8, maybe.
I'm more worried about queen g3, bishop e5, bishop f4. The knight is pinned.
Yeah. Rook e3 is met by queen g4 check. I'm seeing that now.
And let me do a quick peek on board 3 with Ashrita and Christopher Pan. Ashrita, for the moment, up a pawn, but the a5 pawn's probably going.
Yeah, and then the c4 pawn is going. So... And then the g5 pawn is going. So what is actually going on?
Well, white starts a pawn ahead.
Yeah.
Play, takes, move.
So if Black takes on a5, White trades and plays knight c4, then rook c5, b3, but then knight d5.
This could peter out to a draw. Everything's being, vacuumed off the board.
Right. Especially if white plays 95. Well, my white, yeah. Huh. Vacuumed off the board. So white could play b3 or 95 here. I guess 95 looks. What do you think, Nick? Are they going to call it a draw in a minute?
Oh, your B3 is interesting. I guess, and if knight D5, you want to play knight E4 and
And yeah, maybe an f6. I don't know.
double-edged.
If you're playing for a win.
And let's check individual game from Grandmaster Patrick Wolf, who is playing this game as black. Let me switch the orientation. Playing black as his team is playing the Mission Warriors, I believe from Mission San Jose High School. And his opponent is Nathan Zhang, who's 2152 USCF.
Lots of blocked pawns in this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of closed games, huh?
Or yeah, blocked pawn formations. I mean, of course you like black with the, I mean, I like any, position like this, but this is not clear, obviously.
Oh, I kind of like white. It's that black bishop on B8 is going to take a long time to get in play.
This is true.
Maybe pawn to F3 is coming.
Bishop C2 is a principled move. Yeah, it's difficult for black to. Maybe black should play knight G4, but can he afford to give up the E4 pawn right now? I don't know.
Well, I think that would be bad.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the top board on the second table.
How did that pawn formation happen?
Yeah,
Range.
especially with Patrick's dark square bishop kind of caught in there. And we're back to Caltech versus the San Jose Chess Club Warriors. It's Jason Shi of Caltech playing white against Grandmaster Andrei Gorovets.
I like Grandmaster Gorovitz's 1082 rating.
Yeah,
Just unbelievable.
and it was that yesterday because someone had pointed it out. It's like I would have thought he would have gained some points already.
Grandmasters these days have, what a rating. Gives us all hope.
Yeah, it's a little clogged up in the middle there. So many pieces trying to get squares.
Black has a nice development, though. You've got to like black's, potential here.
Very true.
Especially if you're a Benoni player.
And let me go to this game here. Back to the top table.
A4. He's trying to get that bishop into the game.
Yeah, on more of the Black Knight. I guess that was practically forced, I think. This is a critical position for white.
And then we were looking at this game. I think Timu has spent a lot of time on this move here because I don't think anything's changed since we last saw. I think we saw Queen E1.
Yeah, no, nothing has changed.
Hey, Manas Paldi in the chat. And if you want to follow the standings and the pairings and what is going on with the U.S. Amateur Team West, the link is in the chat. Just click on that. It'll give you all the info you need.
I think I might have seen a strong move for black in that last on the top board.
In the other game?
Yeah, on the very top board.
Let me see if you're talking about this game.
What about Rook D8 here? Oh, then C7.
Oh yeah, hitting the bishop and the rook.
I thought Rook D8 was almost winning right away, but it looks like C7 might be the answer. Okay, my question has been answered.
Asked and answered. Like this, look at the board 4 matchup here in the Berkeley A and B team. This is Nathan Fong for UC Berkeley.
This is another theme of this tournament: is the rooks and the knights.
Yeah, 4
Well,
knights, 2 rooks.
Black might have some kind of vicious attack coming here.
Well, he's down the 2 pawns, so he better have something.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not sure it's there.
Right. I was thinking of, and also he's got to watch out for mate on the back rank.
Yes. But it takes
So let's say plays slowly, he trades on D3 and then plays H6 or something, not denying the H5 square or even H5, trying to go knight G5. It could be awkward for white.
I don't know, knight on 7 to C6.
Yeah, and then knight, oh, I see, you're hitting the E5 pawn too there. Yeah. What's down 2 connected pass pawns between friends?
Well, in this tournament, it takes you about 20 moves to get them down the board, and there's so many cheapos to be tried before that.
Wow.
We've seen some crazy stuff.
Look at it. Look at this position on board 3 with Shrita and Christopher Pan.
Okay, so that happened. The F6 idea happened.
Oh wow.
White is up a pawn.
And trying to get another one.
And kudos to the Cal teams because they played it out straight up. There was no drawing all the matches, and and these are fighting games.
They're each jumping on each other's camels and racing to the finish. This could turn out badly for black, obviously. He's losing another pawn here.
So like rook to C8, knight E5, bishop E3, check king H1, bishop D4, trying to get your pawn back.
Yeah, that I saw that.
Maybe it
Knight
gets you,
c6.
and then you'd have to go bishop takes f6.
Uh-huh. Throwing in the check first. Rook f2 is not really a move here.
And in the
Didn't have to think.
board 3 game, Timu Virtanen is still thinking in his game with Arjun Bharat, which is
Which is a sign that his internet is down, right?
not some massive calculation. PG&E went out. All right. Let's go back to check on Kesav's game.
You know, you organizers are in a rock and a hard place. We saw that with the Fallujah thing today.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you get put in a position where there's no winning.
And I've seen you deal with some very insensitive people,
to
as
say,
well as
to say the least, yeah.
To say the least.
And there's one in particular that I'm sure you're thinking about. I'm really glad you were there to witness it.
Early on in your career at the Mechanics.
I was tested quickly, and I could just say that I'm glad you were there to see it, because if I would have told the story, I don't think anyone would believe it. And we have with us National Tournament Director Glenn Panner. How's it going, Glenn?
Hi, Abel. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Things are going well.
Thank you for hanging out with us here. You'll be doing this pretty soon too, as you are the organizer of the U.S. Amateur Team North.
Yeah, 3 weeks from this weekend. I'm just hoping that we have the wonderful result that you guys did. It's amazing to be able to equal or even surpass what you did in person last year. It really is. It's impressive. I hope we can do the same. Yeah,
we had a lot of fun doing it live. Thank goodness for us, we got that tournament in before everything shut down, probably by just a few weeks. So you're going to be using the same platform as we are, right? Chess.com?
Absolutely. I think it's the best way to go on it. I think, how's it work for you guys this weekend? Has it gone smooth?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Judith would be the one to give the definitive answer on that, but we haven't had any issues whatsoever. We finished running the fair play review of all the games from yesterday, and everything came out great. Thank goodness. And everything has been fantastic. And it seems like the enthusiasm and the drama of the Amateur West and the fun even, I felt like we were still able to maintain some of it. I know we're running a Discord channel, and people are goofing around there talking about food and all kinds of other things. So it's nice that we've been able to keep up that, the banter and the feeling of the amateur team, and you're very familiar with it.
That's a great point. And that's the single most important thing we want to do with the North is that tournament. The U.S. amateur teams are they're social events first, and a tournament second, and to be able to maintain the pageantry, the social part of it, that's something that I'm really concerned about being able to do well. And hearing about your Discord server is something that I'm definitely going to look in right away. We're going to try and keep some of the fun with the costume contests and things like that. Which anytime you're having people go from their own home, you're kind of taking a little bit of a risk there. So we might have to have someone quick on the draw with the with muting the Zoom, with turning off the Zoom.
You have a sensor. You got a
yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's always like that with the team names too. We're sometimes play a little free with those. Which brings me to my question, which is, who are the leaders in the clubhouse for the best team names? Have you discussed that at all on the stream?
We actually haven't discussed it, but I think a front runner has to be Patrick Wolf's team, which is tonight we're going to checkmate like it's 1989. That's a good one. Let me look at the team names here.
Who decides, by the way?
The players usually vote on it, and
Okay.
I think we have a Google form that we'll be able. We had to actually get someone to help. How do we do it? Because usually people vote for their top three. I like Alpha Zero Tech Support. I thought that was that was a good name. I like We Sneezed on the Beat and the Beat Got Sicker, which is a phrase from a song, but I love the name. Magnanimous Magnuses. Ponzi Scheme. That was a good one. Yeah, I mean, there's and a lot of people just name like the UC Berkeley teams, A, B, C, D, E, right? Stanford did the same. A, B, Caltech did the same. Cryogenic Corrosive Kingdom. Now there's a name. I like Don't Throw in the Towel. That's a good one. There's even a team called Pandemic Toilet Paper Hoarders.
You got to have the timely ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Paul, how we normally decide it in the North is the staff. We'll kind of narrow it down to a top four, and the staff will kind of first narrow it down. We'll do an internet vote. To give the fans a chance to stuff the ballot box,
right,
and cheer for their favorites, and then we'll narrow it and let the players decide by applause during one of the rounds. Which
nice.
We probably won't do it that way, but maybe that would be a great way to use the Discord server. Is a final vote for it.
Glenn, here's the way you should do it.
We're not above such things. I wish I could say I was, but we're not above it.
Cough it up.
The best team name is one of the more fun parts of the event. Or
nowadays, it's you hold up Bitcoin in this virtual world now. Another fun part was yesterday, right before we got started. I was in one of the Zoom meetings. Where the players were logging in, and I was in Zoom Room 1 where Patrick Wolf was there and Mark Pinto and John Donaldson. And it was funny because they started socializing and chatting and hanging out right there in the Zoom. And they were sort of like chatting, having fun with each other. But, the 40 other players were also there to kind of listen and be a part of it too. And that was actually kind of fun. It was just nice that there was a way for people to stay interacting and joking around and just having fun.
Yeah, it's that's so much part of the event is just that. Now I notice you're wearing your Cal hat, and
I decided to go biased all the way.
It's working, obviously.
It is,
and I think just looking at the standings earlier, to me, really one of the stories of the tournament was the impressive college performances, not just from Cal, who obviously, but Stanford and Caltech, and I think at one point, like 6 of the top 10 teams were college teams. That's tremendous. I mean, I think it's also a testament to what you guys have done, and piggybacking on the success of the Pan Ams it has something to do with that.
Well, thank you very much, and big time kudos to Judith Starre, who was the chief organizer, and you were a big part of it as the chief tournament director as well. The UC Berkeley team is a really special thing, and not just because I'm biased towards them. They have an A, B, C, D, and E team playing in this tournament, and even in the Pan Am they had 4 or 5 teams.
That's a lot of chess players.
And they have an active club. They have a chess.com community. They have a club that meets on Fridays. They're very, very organized, and it's nice to see that there, because when I was going to school there was no chess club that I was aware of. And a lot of these players, and we had a draw on board 1 here between Ryan and Keshav. A lot of these players that are now going to Cal were players that Judith and I had been watching for the last 6-7 years. when they were in like junior high school and even younger, and now they're going to Cal. So it's a lot of fun to see that, and it's great. It's great to see kind of the renaissance of chess at UC Berkeley and coming out in tournaments like these.
Now, I think the strength of the North is going to be the high school players, where in Illinois, Illinois has the largest high school tournament in the country. We play 8 board fixed teams, and ours will be the week after our high school state. And there's generally about 1,300 players that play just just high school exclusively. So we're hoping to draw a great high school crowd, and we have some very talented high school players. So hopefully we'll get good attendance.
And Glenn Panner is absolutely no stranger to large events, so you know how it goes and you know the drill. And hopefully we can get a lot of these teams, see if we can direct them towards the North, because now in the virtual world, you may even have a team or 2 or 3 or 4 that are looking to play all 4 of the amateur team events.
If you're playing this weekend and you enjoy it, then I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We're gonna copy a lot of things that you guys are doing, because you're doing it so well and you're doing it right. Well, so if you're playing this weekend and having a good time, then look for us in 3 weeks, and come play in ours as well.
And I think Judith would vouch for you 100% that if you like the experience that you've had with mechanics, Glenn Panner and Merritt Thorpe and all your team, you provide the exact same experience, customer service, and we're using the same platform, so you can expect the same thing. And thank you very much in the chat. We're glad. We think everything's been great for everyone, and I'm going to knock on the wood that I have here, because we still got this round and 1 more to go. But a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to everything. And feel free to hang out as long as you want, Glenn, because what we have here on the top table in the 5th round are the 2 UC Berkeley teams, the only 2 perfect scorers. We had a draw on board 1, and now this is board 2. Arjun Bharat for UC Berkeley B playing Timu Virtanen for A team.
Were the Berkeley teams excited to play each other, or apprehensive, or what was their attitude? Did you get a chance to talk to them?
Yeah, we were in the Discord, and I was telling Nick and Paul earlier, Shritha Swaran got on the Discord, and I was there, and then she asked me who I was rooting for between the A and the B team, and I said I was rooting for the C team, and so I was able to avoid that. But I couldn't be prouder. It's a lot of fun. I definitely don't have a preference.
Meanwhile, we're asking you, Abel, how come you're not rooting for the mechanics team?
I'm always rooting for the mechanics. Actually, yesterday, if you followed the broadcast, I probably devoted 75% time to the mechanics teams.
Yeah, that's true.
But gotta give the UC Berkeley teams love.
Especially if they're winning the tournament.
Right. And it was like this in the Pan Am, where we covered a lot of stuff in the first few days, but then as everything got tightened up, we sort of focused on the top 2-3 tables and covered the team aspect of it. Because then it gets dramatic between what happens, like we saw in the previous round, where Christopher Pan pulled off an upset against Alex Costello on board 3, and then that sort of shaped how people were approaching games on board 1 and 2 and 4, and that's kind of the fun part of the team tournament, is you have that drama, and you get to see it play out.
Well, the quality of the players you have, it's just stunning how many strong players, both whether you're talking grandmasters or juniors or even just legends who are playing. This is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, we have.
And it's funny because it seems like every year the first round of the amateur team playoffs, after our directionals finish, it's always the North against the West, which we should just go ahead and call it the finals, because the winner of our match.
Right. They're bound to meet.
Might have something to say about it, but you know, we'll get there eventually.
And the thing about these amateur teams, you get matchups. They're just fun to watch. I mean, we had John Donaldson play Jennifer Yu, right? And things like that, because Jennifer Yu fielded a team here. And you just get these fun matchups that, traditionally you don't see. And they're a lot of fun to watch. Patrick Wolf was playing Jennifer Yu today also. Jim Tarjan, right? Playing Keaton Cura. And yeah, just fun stuff.
Yeah. Now, do you have mechanics uniforms for the sweaters or anything for the matches? I mean,
No, we don't.
I have to admit, like a mechanics Donaldson jersey, I'd wear that.
For some reason, they all say Cal on it.
And the mechanics jerseys are like a fantastic idea. Unfortunately, I think we would have to go through a marketing committee to get it approved.
Oh, but we have sweatshirts and T-shirts for the mechanics.
We do, but I think you don't have a choice of what size is available because they sell them in the library. But what do you think of this match here with Ashrita Iswaran hanging onto her pawn against Christopher Pan?
I think you summed it up perfectly, holding on to the pawn. Although black's going to start targeting this B2 pawn.
And guys, let me know. This is the board 4 matchup with Nathan Fong and Junior Mejia. Nathan is up a pawn. I know black's rooks looked active, but...
Do we have a score of that match?
On the UC Berkeley, it's the top board drew, so it's a half, and then the other 3 are still out.
Okay, so it's wide open still.
Wide open, absolutely wide open.
Black is giving up the rook for a perpetual check.
And Nathan Fong declined to draw right now. And Nathan Fong is, I mean, the Berkeley 8.
Oh, what? That is crazy.
Uh-oh.
This
Looks like
what
it
a
works.
move.
Is it still fine?
Because the rook on C3 is hanging at the end.
And was there some reason why white didn't play rook D8 check?
Knight F8.
Oh, knight F8. Okay, thank you.
Took me a second there too. I was trying to figure that out and not sound silly.
Well, now this is a remarkable position.
Like everything is. You ever seen the rooks like that, just like next to each other?
Yeah, I mean but not only that, but there's like rooks actually hanging.
So something like King F2, Knight takes D2, and if you go Rook takes C3, you have Knight E4 double check. So tricky position.
Very tricky. I'm glad I'm not playing this and just watching.
You say that, Paul, and
all the time.
Well, you say that, but then we're actually gonna be playing it. Nick, for those that are not aware, Nick, Paul, me, and Judith are going to be playing the U.S. Amateur Team South as a team, and can we still back out of that, or did we commit?
I'm ready to back out anytime.
So we'll see. We'll see.
But we're going to train in Bermuda for a couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, Nathan Fong is going to be thinking about this.
Crazy game.
And Timu got himself down to 8 minutes thinking about the sequence of what to do against Arjun's attack here.
Is this working? If you go pawn to F6, bishop takes F6, bishop H6, looks like that looks pretty good too.
Black must play f6 here. I think Black kind of lost the thread of the game, it looked like. That happens when you spend a lot of time sometimes.
And
And
Glenn, it seems like your upper level scholastics, like the junior high and high, you get like remarkable turnout for that. Where it seems other areas struggle to engage that level of student. What is it about Illinois chess, or what is it that you're doing that's kind of engaging those older students to come out in great numbers?
Well, I think it's the history of the high school tournament. They even did a documentary on it, and it's it started off. I want to say in the late '60s, early '70s, where, if you can believe it, teams started traveling, and the tournament was in a high school gym, and the players slept in the gym. And it was cool for the players to be able to miss a day of school, because the tournament's always on a Friday and a Saturday. So it became a situation where, over time, when you had 120, 130, 150 schools, even, where it was just a really, really big party for the students, and a celebration of chess, where you would have no problem playing your regular season, and learning, just for the opportunity to play in state, because it was such an amazing experience. And that's kind of carried on through the years. And even though it's held in downstate Illinois, central Illinois, Peoria, which by itself isn't the most exciting area, but when you're basically in a civic center with 1,300 of your new closest friends, and everyone's there to have a good time, you get that type of atmosphere. And I think it just kind of feeds on itself. I think it's gotten to that point where it's just such a unique event.
Yeah, because that's amazing. We're always trying to engage the older players to continue playing, and you seem like you have that.
It's difficult because it's none of it's rated, which also makes it unique. So you have a lot of players that might have had U.S. chess ratings during their grade school or middle school days, and might not have played for 5 or 6 years. And so U.S. chess ratings are notoriously inaccurate at this event. You can, with regularity, see players 800 points underrated. And, so you really, you can't base who you're playing based on that. And when we held the National High School in Illinois just a year ago, we set the record by a wide margin for the largest unrated section. I wouldn't say it's not serious. The players are really serious, but they've played for years without being rated, and a lot of them still get grandmaster coaching. So there's a lot of dangerous little sharks out there.
They just like to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
is this right that Junior Mejia is gonna take a night?
Yeah. I mean, I think Nathan's probably regretting that he didn't take the draw now.
Yeah, this would be an upset on this board for sure, because we know Nathan Fong. We know he's a strong player, even for 1900.
He got bamboozled.
Yeah, a lot of tomfoolery on the part of Junior Mejia there. Going back to the Golden Puppy, which is Ashrita Iswaran playing Christopher Pan. But actually, let me go back to this other game. I mean, White's looking pretty good, no?
I like Bishop E5.
Very sharp game still.
There's a lot of play in all of these games still.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, Black is going to play Queen F5 next move, I guess. This is very...
Bishop h6 is coming. Queen g2, queen f5, bishop h6, and
And then maybe rook h4. Just
then bishop g7 check. Bishop takes bishop, queen takes g7 check.
wow, what an incredible combination.
And
Lots of tricks here.
and
That's an amazing combination.
Timu down to under 4 minutes in his game, and
Somebody else is Dr. Mad. Dr. Mad.
Queen G2,
In
Queen
the house.
X5, Bishop A6, Rook H4, Bishop G7 check.
Incredible. Nick saw it
And
as well.
speaking of the mechanics team, Kyron Griffith has won his game. This is the final position. The pawn is going to get there. And congratulations. On board 2 of the Mechanics Institute team, Grandmaster Jim Tarjan is playing black. Against Arya Hosley.
Those black pieces are all on the back rank.
So which team is Mechanics playing?
So they are playing this is I believe this is who are they playing?
Well, it looks like Tarzan is wrapping this up here.
Aria is one of our Chicago area players.
You know, I noticed that when I saw her USCF state.
Yeah, very, very strong high school player for the powerhouse Whitney Young team that's won national championships. Really, really nice kid, but very strong player. She works. Whitney Young's just such a strong powerhouse program every year.
I think they have a team.
What's that?
I think they even have a team here. It might be in the under, but they have their own separate team, I believe. Because there is a Whitney High School Chess Club in the under 1800.
How about that? And Aria is playing for what team?
Whitney Young High School is where she goes to school. It's one of the most prestigious magnet schools in Chicago. Michelle Obama went there, in fact.
There you go.
And they're a national high school powerhouse. They've graduated a lot of national champions. Between people like Matthew Stevens, who's a very strong FM a couple of years ago. Sam Schmeichel went there, who's an international master. They've had a run over the last decade plus where they've been tremendous.
And
this could come down to the. So Rook H4. Queen G8 check as well.
Oh, yes, Queen G8 check.
As well as the gorgeous Bishop G7 check.
Oh man, Queen G8. Wow.
Queen G8 set up by the Rook A8.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And Kyron Griffith is in the chat saying Queen G8. There it is. Wow. Arjun Bharat. What a shot right there against Timu. And Timu got down to 1 minute. I mean, he used his time trying to solve, and look at that. That's
nice finish.
What a move. Unbelievable. Arjun Bharat probably missed his chance in the previous round in a game that we were following, but what a move there to close the show for UC Berkeley Team B. So they get the win on board 2. And looking at this for Junior Mejia, he is leading his game, which now is like super important because he needs to get this win for the A team to neutralize that. Um, Fantastic. And Judith was in the chat earlier. uh, she is allowing us to back out if we want to from playing the South. So we will see. We will see that. And
We're just throwing it out there.
and the U.S. Amateur Team North will be February 20th through the 21st. So look for that. I think the East is going to be after the Super Bowl weekend, which is next week. And then the North, and then the South is the final leg. So we have time to decide whether we're going to do this or not. But this match is ever important then with Ashrita Iswaran and Christopher Pan, and this game could actually decide the match. And Ashrita playing for the A team, the Cal A team.
I like the way White has just really buckled down here to try to win this.
That Paul, you think that the mobilization of the B pawn is going to be the key for White here?
That's what White's trying to do, is keep her extra pawn and push it forward. But it's going to take a combination of it's going to be hard work. Oh, F5, huh?
Dropping the bishop. That wasn't good. Oh no, it's not.
It almost
Isn't
drops the
96 a
bishop, but it
problem?
opens up that E6 square. I'm not sure of that.
Yeah, but what about 96? What, King H6?
King F. King F6.
King F. Yeah.
Yeah, King H6 with
Rook
with the
H3.
button man.
You're right.
Nick,
worried
you
about
made
where that knight
it
goes
somebody in a
Taking the knight
similar
off of B, or taking
situation.
the rook off B5.
Nick, didn't you have a game once where you beat somebody with like a two knights versus a rook and a sort of a surprise mate?
Yeah, those knights are tricky.
Those knights are very tricky.
And Daniel Perlov is in the chat talking about a miracle of a win. So I'm gonna have to investigate that, Daniel, for the newsletter.
F5 was a risky move for Black to play, I think, but you can see he wants to get his king over. It's a little impatient, but White's not being distracted. King D1, King C2, King B3, or something like that. Black's trying to break the bind.
Let me check on this game from table 3. This is FIDE Master Robert Shliaktenko playing for Alpha Zero Tech Support against International Master Bryce Tiglon from Stanford University A Team.
So the exchange down should be winning, but those centralized black pieces make it complicated.
Looks like it's one big blob of central stuff.
Yeah, Black's going to try to run that E pawn down, but meanwhile, White has the A pawn, so.
I might push that knight back. It's such a troublemaker.
And then play Rook D7. A3. Is Black going to go in with Knight D3 or back with Knight C6?
Yeah, probably in. Like black is occupying almost all the center squares.
You know, it looks like there's even ideas where the knight can hop to A2 with the idea of pushing C3 to create some a way for the knight to come back into the center again and break up those white's pawns.
Yeah. Got to watch out for Rook D7 though, which is going to pin everything. I don't know, though. That looks legitimate to me.
And check this game out on board 2 of this match. Emily Nguyen for Stanford University against Keaton Cura from Alpha Zero Tech Support.
I mean, I'm really heartened to see all these young women playing chess here. I think it's just incredible to, well, Black is eschewing the draw here with Queen H4 and Queen, but White can just pick up the pawn, right?
Would Black push to A3 instead?
Yeah, Black would push to A3.
Yeah, or maybe first do Queen H4, check King E1, Queen E1, King H2, and then pawn to A3. It's
And Glenn, to answer the question, it just reminded me what Paul was saying. You're talking about Aria Hosley. She is playing on the team. We sneezed on the beat, and the beat got sicker. With a couple of players from the Bay Area. WFM Kimberly Liu is playing in third board, and Simona Neiberg. So Aria, Simona, Kimi, and one other player. They made an all female team.
Yeah, along with Jennifer, it's just like they're showing up in force.
I think that's one of the really great things we've seen about these invitationals over the last several years, and of course, what U.S. Chess does at the at the U.S. Open with the with the girls' championship is it really forms a lot of friendships and bonds between these players, and they cheer for each other, and I think it's cool when you see them take those friendships and they put teams together at events like this. It really adds something to it.
And even we didn't know what to expect in the online event, especially an event like this. But it's nice to see that the teams and the togetherness kind of remained. What do we think here? Something happened, right? Because
something Black should not have allowed, I think, but
yeah, suddenly White is surviving at least. It's he got two pieces for a rook.
But those knights form a barrier. The White King can't cross over. How bizarre is that? The White King cannot approach the knights at all.
But still, that rook has a lot of open territory, so I think that White will draw with ease.
I don't see a good way for Black to break through here. I mean,
yeah.
Well, march the king up, but to what end?
Well, the thing is White is the one that's wanting to win this game because their board 2 lost.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen here.
This is going to be 2 knights and a pawn.
I'm not saying it's rational. I'm just saying.
40 years ago, Paul and I had a 130 move game.
He's told me about it. He's told me about it.
Yeah.
And Jim Tarjan won his game against Aria.
This is what's going to happen in this game, Glenn. Black is going to create a passed pawn.
Oh.
And that's going to cost White his rook. And then we're going to be left with these 2 black knights versus the white A pawn.
And in the chat, he's right. Nathan,
that would be cool. I'd pay to see it.
Nathan Fong is on the B team. So it's Black that really needs the win. Because Arjun, who's on the B team, won against Timu.
Well, I think that it's preordained here that this is going to be 2 knights versus a pawn, and
he just needs to create that position where you use that pawn to like march down, but then you create the mate while it's like marching.
Exactly.
Yeah. Easy, right?
Do you know who did that? Was Hans Niemann.
I saw Vignesh Panchanatham do it too. And he wrote about it in Chess Life. That's where I saw it. Oh. Now both these players have time, but
I think black just lost a pawn on
that's what
the.
it looks like.
Oh, maybe
I
not.
don't think so.
There's a
I think
knight e4 check move.
the knight can hop to e4 and then get back in.
Yeah,
Oh, the check, yeah.
yeah.
Well, but there goes the blockade on the queen side.
Exactly.
Now, who needs to win this game? The black side?
The black side needs to win this game for the team because Arjun Bharat, who won his game, plays for UC Berkeley B, and Junior Mejia plays for UC Berkeley A. So the A team, if it wants to equalize, needs this win. And then we still have the other game going with Ashrita and Christopher Pan. So from Black's perspective, they would like a win because their board two lost. And in the chat saying Ashrita looks winning on B3, on board 3.
Shall we take a look?
So flipping over to that.
Now, are players able to see their teammates' games? Are they able to hover?
Yes, so we allowed them to have the tab open on chess.com where they can see the tab and they can see the result and they can see the position. They just can't click on it.
So the players know how their teammates are doing.
Correct. And they can look at the status of the game. Yep. And that seemed to work. We haven't seen a couple of issues, but I think the issues had to do more with people not fully understanding what was happening. And in that game we were looking at earlier, Robert Shliatenko got the win here against Bryce Tiglon of Stanford. So picked up a win in the match for Alpha Zero Tech Support. And going back to that game we were looking at here with Emily Nguyen of Stanford and Keaton Kira of Alpha Zero Tech Support, look at this. She's 2 pawns up, but is the A3 pawn a problem?
Yes.
It's hard for white to do anything and stop that threatened perpetual of queen h4, queen e1. I think white will have to bail out to a draw soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that it feels, that either side who tries to make too much progress winds up losing. And it just feels like a draw is going to wind up being the result.
Yeah, for example, if white plays queen a6 here, then black can just draw at will.
Yeah, queen h4 immediately.
Going back to the top table just to see what's going on. Nathan Fong and Junior Mejia. Nathan Fong playing for UC Berkeley B team.
So black's decided to go fishing on the king side, but hasn't gotten very far. Meanwhile, white's run his king up the b file and now is threatening to push his pawn all the way.
So if we go knight g4, rook 6h7, knight c3.
Yeah, we got scary A pawns in a lot of games.
Those a pawns are always scary. Yeah, and people talk about the f pawn, but
I don't know. Black's f pawn looks kind of ominous to me. That e3 pawn could disappear quickly, and the F pawn can run.
This is a position that could stump a grandmaster, I think.
And Junior Mejia getting to 5 minutes left. Nathan got 27. Let's check in on board 3 in this big matchup between.
I did. I mentioned Michael Egner. I'm right there.
And that is John McCumsky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where is F pawn? We haven't seen him yet.
Is he playing?
No, he usually jumps in and says hi and checks out the games. Probably got a lot of students.
You gotta love these white knights in this game. What now? Knight f5 check, king g6. Black is on the verge of collapse here.
If you go pawn takes g5 check doesn't work. That bishop's on c1. I was trying to find a mate with those knights.
Yeah, the black's king is almost in a mating net. Amazing. So Tarzan won. How about Mark Pinto?
Mark Pinto lost his game.
Oh,
And this is the final position. He's white.
did he lose on time?
No. But I don't think he can avoid mate, right?
Oh,
G4 mate. Wow.
And
That's right.
I think what happened was because I could see in the chat they're having a discussion on the game. He played so quickly, and then you see the time he had 29 minutes, but that he used a lot of time when he was in trouble. But he had sort of blitzed out his moves and sort of got himself. He was playing a FIDE master himself, so he was playing a strong player.
Chess is a difficult game.
It's not for everyone, except it is. Here we go. Moves have been made.
Yeah, there goes the B pawn.
yeah, there's not many pawns left. Rook takes f7. Yeah, that may do it. King takes, knight takes g5 check, king f6.
Or maybe
Yeah,
king
Knight F3
e7.
to consolidate.
Come around to g6.
Whoa!
Takes. No, king e7 is a fork.
Oh yes, right, for the other knight. Yep. How right you are. Is can white win this now? Do you think?
Well, yeah.
This is another knights versus rook game. How can that be? Two knights versus rook. It's the same problem as the other position.
Well, speaking of which, let's go to that game on board 4. Same thing. 2 knights versus rook.
I mean, that's the theme here, is the two knights versus rook theme.
It's amazing how tournaments seem to have these themes where they pop up over and over again.
Yes, we've noticed that. And sometimes the theme is how bad the blunders are.
And we've been seeing that in this tournament. Like, the time catches up to these players because it's not just the time pressure of the game, it's like the emotion of that your game affects other people.
I mean, that's definitely another aspect to these tournaments is, it's one thing when you're playing for yourself.
Right.
A completely different thing when you're playing for your friends and you have other people depending on your result. You don't mind kicking yourself, if you just, everyone has those games where they throw it away and they lose it and they bang their head against the wall or do whatever they do. But feels a whole lot worse when you cost your team a match when you do
Yeah,
it.
and we've seen it because we've seen where players are profusely apologizing to their team, and and everyone understands and everyone gets it, but it's like you can't take away the hurt you feel, right? Even if nobody's putting anything on you. So Nathan Fong using his time here to try to figure out
Well,
what to do.
Black might be on the verge of winning, I guess. And this two knights versus the rook is the theme.
I mean, this is almost like identical. I mean, I'm gonna switch back to the other game. Look at this. It's like I feel like we're
It is
watching
crazy.
mirror images.
Yes, it's only fitting to see that rook have to sacrifice itself for the G and D pawn. They get all in my onions.
Oh no!
All right, back to this one because I think this is getting intense as the pawn's marching down.
It's incredible, these two games. Remarkable.
And everything on the line here. The only two undefeated teams.
And these are these same teams playing these two games, right?
Yeah, yeah. Board 3 and board 4.
That's just amazing.
Board 3 and 4.
I mean, obviously, Black has to stay alert here for the timely rook sack, springing the a pawn. But aside from that,
Well, I
White's
think it looks like Black is going to have to sack. So what here? What happens here? F4, A6, then knight check, and knight takes A6,
Yes, has
And
to
then-
sacrifice.
and then can White draw there?
A good question. Somehow the rook should be able to take both pawns while Black is winning the H pawn.
And this is intense. We'll be flipping back
This
and
is incredibly
'Cause,
tough.
looking
yeah.
at the other game really quick. Ashrita is pushing the D pawn.
Look at that. White played into King C5 instead. Amazing. We have sort of the opposite thing happening in this game with the knights, with the advanced pawn is the knight side.
oh yeah,
This looks like it's gonna get very tricky for Black because
This looks better for. This looks like a better situation for White. This is what White. I mean,
those knights are going to isolate the king, and then I really think White's winning this one clearly.
and then going back in the other game. This
I tend to agree. This looks like a walk in the park. So not a walk in the park, but like you're gonna just force the queen in. And White's decided not to advance the pawn at all, but to try to hamstring the knights.
Saying that A pawn is more valuable than a knight.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's
Yeah,
There's
there's
a lot of danger in letting Black sack the knight for the pawn. But this is just beyond me. This is probably beyond Alpha Zero.
Yeah, I just think White needs to really be alert to the possibility of exchange sacks and that a pawn jumping. But this one's a little bit more
We're
double-edged.
repeating the position after King C5.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on.
Wow.
I'll keep an eye on this game.
How about here, king to c4, pawn to f3, rook takes knight, pawn to f2. Maybe you can't stop that pawn.
I had to switch over here because we have a fast developing game on board 3.
This is just lost. You know, I think this was kind of simple, like you said, Glenn. It just, the knights escort the pawn down, and that's just basically the end of the story.
This would be a huge win for Cal A.
This has been a very nice game by Ashrifa. Just, a really sock it to you kind of performance.
And you just go bring the king, defend that pawn, and then that's it, right?
Or just make a queen, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm maybe experiencing some lag here.
Yeah. Same idea, though. So, wow, we figure she's going to get that win for the A team. So the match is all tied up and hinges on the result of this game here on board 4. It is 1.5, 1.5 between the 2 unbeaten Cal teams. And this match will decide it. This game will decide it.
Black's getting a little discombobulated, but he still has that F pawn. F pawn, F pawn.
It's funny how that triggers something, right?
F pawn. What do you think, Nick?
Well, something like rook b4 check, king e3, rook takes d3 check, knight takes pawn to a6. Well, then you can queen your f pawn.
F pawn, F pawn.
So you have to go pawn to a6 right away.
I mean, it's one thing to have an opening named after you, right? Like some variation of the Sicilian, like the Nahdorf. But it's another to have an actual pawn named after you, I mean, that's
a big deal.
Taking it to a whole nother level.
And someone's asking about the junior mechanics. We're going to stay on this game just because this game is important, but I will pull up the junior mechanics games for after this result is in.
Now, Nathan Fong sounds familiar. Is he an Illinois kid that went out west too?
I believe he was from Illinois. Yes.
All of our,
yeah. The sun. They want more sun and less snow. That's
well, I believe it. We got a foot of snow, from overnight through this afternoon. So there's a lot of people not happy about shoveling right now.
And Kimberly Dew had actually texted me earlier. She says she's got a foot of snow in New York. So snowing everywhere but here. It's like bright and sunny in downtown San Francisco.
So what happens here? Rook takes d3. Is that possible? Knight d3.
Yeah, you could have done it right away. Yes.
I think he
Pawn
could have
A6.
done it. And then if knight e5 check, king b5. Oh, but then f3 and queens with check.
Well, white queen's first with.
Oh, but it's knight e5 check, king b5, f3, a6, f2, a7. I thought black. Uh-oh. a6, right? Knight
And you have
a6,
to take
king d3, yeah. And then maybe white has outside winning chances. That's so bizarre that this happened in this game.
Yeah, I think this was a lot trickier position than the other knights versus rook endgame for sure. I still feel as though black should comfortably hold up draw in this position.
And the junior mechanics,
I think you're right. But
the junior mechanics won their match 3.5 to half. All those games are done. The top 3 boards won. That was Jason Liang, Rui, and Nicholas Wang and Kevin Su drew. So congrats to the junior mechanics. And the Mechanics Institute won their match. Chelsea Zhu got the win.
Well, she's been a real performer for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, knight f6 and g5. That's
Oh.
a great idea.
I was actually looking at the fifth round. So let me do a check here.
Well, this is kind of this. There were some missed opportunities in this game, but I'm sure. But
Let me refresh.
Oh, you're assuming it's over. I think we're going to get rook versus knight, and they're going to play for 20 moves.
At least.
right, because coming up after now is. Oh, I thought White was going to play rook a5.
Yeah, now black can go g4 and
Yeah, g4 check. Black won't even lose a pawn, probably.
whoa, that's what's happening? Rook a5.
Blunder, the knight d5.
King to e4. It's oh god, complicated now.
Close the page.
Moving the king in the wrong direction. It's weird. G4 check was easy.
Or at least king g6 to stay close to the pawn.
Yeah. This is where, I mean, I'm not sure about Junior's chess strength, but sometimes the difference between expert and master sort of gets pronounced around here.
In endgame play?
And the sort of elementary kind of mistakes, you know, or wrong thinking or something.
And the only thing for Junior Mejia too here, he's got 26 seconds. I mean, that's gonna lend itself to
I mean,
something not good.
rook a5, knight d5. I mean, black is still should be fine, I guess. Well, then king g4, right? Rook a5, knight d5, king g4. I think White's winning a pawn.
Oh god, I think it may be lost now.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh wow.
Knight h7, is that the last? Maybe is that possible?
It's so passive after king g4.
Yeah.
It might work. Maybe the
Yeah, it might just be the last possibility. Ooh.
And the Junior Mechanics did win their match. Because I see Jason Liang on board 1-1, Rui Yang 1 on board 2, and Kevin Su 1 on board 3. Nicholas Wang is still playing, but they are 3-0, so they will get the win. The Mechanics team is still playing, but Jim Tarjan and Kyron won their matches, so we need only a draw from Jonah Bush against Kimberly Liu, or Simona Neiberg and Chelsea Zhu, which is actually should be a pretty interesting game. So I'll pull that.
You know, when you call out the names, it's like half the players in the tournament are women. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
And a lot of them we know, which is kind of fun. And wow, just really quick, this is Simona Neiberg playing white against Chelsea playing black. But look at this position, and each side's got like minutes left, but doesn't even look like near an endgame.
They're taking their time.
so it's 2 pawns ahead for black, but some thoughts maybe for white.
Yeah, rook d3, queen f4, knight f3 check.
Or you could do queen takes f3 and get 2 knights and a rook for the queen.
Yeah.
So here, knight d5, maybe it doesn't do anything, but queen d6, is there some shot for black afterwards? Having trouble seeing a really effective shot for the white side.
And Chelsea's up material, but only a draw is needed to win the match for the Mechanics Institute. But let's go back to that big game here between Nathan Fong and Junior Mejia. The battle of the two Cal unbeatens. They are at 1.5, 1.5. This game could decide the match. Whoever wins this goes into the final round with a perfect score. If this game is a draw, both teams will go into the final round with a share of the lead, but only a share.
And with the U.S. amateur team tie breaks, anything can happen in one round.
Absolutely. Whoever you could be ahead in a round on tie breaks and you win your final match and someone leapfrogs you.
That's one of the most common questions I get running the North is, I first explaining how the tie breaks work on that, which, it's a formula, but I'm always trying to persuade teams, no, don't go into the round thinking, hey, I'm safe taking a draw, in the match. I mean, if you want to do it, but those tie breaks can be so volatile that, because you're looking at all the different rounds and margin of victory and so many different things that a huge result by the team that you beat in round 1, in round 6, is the difference between you clinching first or taking a draw and being very sad. So, it's definitely something that teams need to keep an eye on. And when you have multiple teams tied going into that last round, it's stressful. I don't envy them at all.
And
A2.
Rook A3.
Yeah, Nathan wins the game.
Rook A3. Yeah.
Because you
What
can't
a-
push that pawn because you'll take with check.
Oh, when black had a draw right near the end. Oof.
Yeah, that was bad.
And played. Yep. And thank you, Dan Manchu, for the raid. Appreciate it. Tough win, or tough loss for Junior Mejia there, and fantastic game by Nathan Fong, who had
By
to
both players, yeah.
he had to weather a storm, and the time trouble did get the best of Junior. So Nathan Fong for UC Berkeley Team B, they get the win, and the B team is going to go into the final round undefeated. UC Berkeley Team B with Ryan Tagazadi, Arjun Bharat, Christopher Pan, and Nathan Fong. Congrats! What a match! And on table 2, this is important because there was one 3.5 point team, which was the San Jose Chess Club Warriors. On board 1, their grandmaster Andrei Gorovets drew with FIDE master Jason Shi from Caltech. So they got the draw. The other 3 games are still out. And this is board 2 in that game. Pranav Sairam for the San Jose Chess Club Warriors against Eugene Yanyat from Caltech.
Well, White got every reason to play this one out for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is board 3 game between Tony Kukavica from Caltech, and Abhinav Panagalapati from the San Jose Warriors.
This one's right out of the textbooks.
So it's only one pawn for the exchange, but white has a very active setup.
Yeah. Probably should be a draw.
Yeah, probably e5 is enough.
Not enough material on the board.
Oh, actually, getting in pawn to g6.
Oh, look at that.
Knight takes
Knight
e4.
onto g6. Nice shot. I guess the knight can go back to g6. And then what, bishop f4?
So in fact, it's black who's in trouble.
I don't know. Does the knight hop up to g4? With
Oh,
the
right now?
Yeah.
Okay, and we have to move the bishop like to f4, and you're coming to e5.
Yeah.
You could protect it.
F7,
That's
G4.
safer.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well seen.
And wow, look at the ending of this with Simona Neiberg and Chelsea Zhu. Look at this attack. Queen f4, f3, check.
That's a problem.
And look at that blunder right there. You're going to see it, knight d1, covers up the rook, and then mate on the board.
Well, white was under tremendous pressure.
Yeah, so that
as well as being 2 pawns down.
That win gets the Mechanics Institute the match.
Chelsea is the hero of the mechanics team.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And then
she's got, what, 4 wins and a loss or something like that?
Yeah. Playing very well. This is Jonah Bush against Kimmy Liu.
Let's put Chelsea on board 1 next time.
if we can switch them up, right?
Yeah.
And that game between Keaton Cura and Emily Nguyen did end in a draw. So let's go back to that.
The one with the queen and 5 pawns versus queen and 1 pawn or whatever.
Yeah, and that 8 pawn was about to promote or marching down. So the table 2 match is intense because there's only been one result on board 1, which was a draw. So 3 games still going out to determine who's sort of moving up. And this is big because San Jose Chess Club Warriors were 3.5, the only team with 3.5. So if they can win this match, they'll only be a half point behind UC Berkeley B team, and they'll probably get paired up. And in this match, Caltech is white, and the San Jose Warriors are black. But on board 4, Caltech has an advantage. Barrel Rider's got the queen against the rook and bishop.
You know, Nick, maybe white shouldn't have played taking on g5 in that game.
Well, white's still a little better.
Yeah. Well,
What do you think of this?
It looks like it'll be a draw.
white needs to be careful about his pieces that are flying all over the board, but
Make sure the protection is there.
King h3. It's an amusing looking move. And played so quickly as well. It's funny.
And black has declined to draw. And you got to be careful of the bishops and.
Oh,
Oh wow!
I'm going to put my bishop on g2, the rook on h4, and you have a fortress.
Or you're stalemating yourself. now
Just gave a pawn.
well, the threat was rook f7 mate. I'm not sure how he could have gotten out of it.
Ah, I'm sorry. White was playing for a win. Yes.
Yeah, now White's got a great game here. Amazing.
And
Or maybe, I don't know. Rook h6 and rook f6.
board board 2 has ended in a draw. Board 2 has ended in a draw in this match, and then that was Pranav Saram and Eugene. So the match is tied with 2 games out, 1-1.
This is a match between
Caltech and the San Jose Chess Club Warriors.
rook f6, maybe. Queen.
Queen
Oh, then queen
D3.
d1. Queen d1
He-
threatens the bishop and mate.
He's in danger of getting forked after. Oh no. Wow, this is tricky.
I think black missed a good move, but
Wow, I feel like
Tough
White's in
one.
a little bit of
That's for sure.
White's in a little bit of trouble, I think.
Speaking of time controls, I'm coming to the end of mine. So I'm going to be signing off.
All right, Glenn, thank you so much for
Right.
joining us.
Thanks for
Hi,
having
Glenn.
me. This was so much fun. It was really great getting a chance to analyze and see what you do. And I hope we can duplicate the success in 3 weeks, February 21st, 20th and 21st. Details are at chessweekend.com. Hopefully we'll see a lot of the same players. This is really great. Congratulations on a tremendous event.
Thank you so much, and we're gonna plug the North in our messages for the tournament, and appreciate everything you did for us at the Pan Am, and look forward to future partnerships.
I'm looking forward to those as well.
All right,
Great
Glenn.
seeing you.
National Tournament Director Glenn Panner, thank you for joining us.
My
And-
pleasure.
and-
bye, Glenn.
And
Bye.
see ya. And what a round this is, and we got another
The
intense.
players are getting punch drunk.
It's a tournament for the young, the stamina. Wow.
Oh, now queen d1. It's hard to miss. Oh no, then rook f5.
Queen H5 was still mate.
Oh yeah, queen h5 mate. Yeah. Queen d1 would have ended the game there.
And this
Oh,
is
we should have.
the other game. Just to look at it, Tony Kukovica for Caltech and Black Abhinav. Oh. Gosh, this is crazy.
Gone wrong for White.
Yeah, something did not go right. We'll keep an eye. I'm going to flip back to this other game just because Alan Finkelstein is Stratus Jr. under 10 seconds.
Rook h4.
Stop checkmate.
I don't see how white can lose. Although I shouldn't speak so. Black missed a win earlier, I think.
Oh my gosh. It's like so crazy. And
Players have no time.
thank goodness for the 10-second increment, because I don't know what would have happened.
Well,
Oh, what? Oh, he can take back with the king.
or go bishop H5 and pin the queen.
There you go, Nick. You're one
Neat.
step ahead of me as usual.
Well, they're looking for sneaky stuff here.
I would have lost this game a whole bunch of times already.
You can't take back. Can't take back with the queen if pawn takes.
Yeah. So white has some winning chances now.
It's crazy.
Queen f4, bishop h5. Well, if you're white, you're going to play this forever, right? Try to win this, I guess.
And
That's
looking at board 3 game here, this is where we're at, and you know they're looking. The players are looking at each other's game, thinking, "All right, what should I do? Do I have to keep playing on, or should I take a draw?"
Well, here black has all the winning chances. But we've said that before, haven't we?
yeah, knight f4 threatens to trap the rook.
Yeah.
And Abi has declined a draw offer.
King h6, I suppose.
Maybe you push your a pawn.
And then anchor it with bishop to b5, and if you can.
And if the San Jose Warriors get a draw, the UC Berkeley B team will be going into the final round with a full point lead.
The San Jose Warriors were the one team that had
Three and a
half
half.
of,
They had 3.5 out of 4 going in, and so 2 teams had 4 out of 4. One had 3.5. All the rest had 3, 2.5.
I just want to say that a3 was a bizarre choice.
They may not even be thinking, to be honest with you. And that game ended in a draw on board 4 with the rook bishop against the queen. So the match is tied. Everything hinging on the result of this game right here.
Black is making some progress, maybe.
If Abi pulls this out, he would be the hero for his team. It's a team effort, right? No one person ever wins, but yes, and John McCumsky, the increment can delay the round, and that's why we are starting the round at a new adjusted time, but that was told to everyone prior. But that darn increment. But my gosh, what a...
I think black is losing his a pawn.
yes, looks like
And then white's in for
Black
a
is winning
long,
the game
torturous
now.
defense.
And now Tony Kukovica knows that he needs to at least hold a draw here.
What do you think, Nick? Probably no longer a draw.
no, a bishop c2, there was maybe some chances. just takes the pawn with check. The exchange up is a winning ending.
Does black have any difficulty in defending the F pawn?
Oh,
Bye.
that's not good. Wow.
Yeah. White got obsessed with something that was.
And now they're just playing.
Knight c5 check.
Wow. The San Jose Warriors looks like they're going to get it done. Amazing win. Amazing hold by Stratus Jr. and Alan Finkelstein. Pranav Sairam. And Abhinav Panagalapati.
So did they win this match?
They won the match. No, they won it. They won the match by virtue of this game. So the San Jose,
they're only half a point.
They're only half a point behind UC Berkeley Team B, and will likely face each other in the final round.
So who's the clear leader?
UC Berkeley Team B.
Well,
5 out of 5, and it looks like the San Jose Chess Club Warriors, they're going to be 4.5 out of 5. And then
they're only 4.5. Huh?
They'll be the only 4.5. I'm pretty sure. And then there's everyone else.
Wow. Dramatico finale.
Muy dramatico. And there's still a couple of games out and about, I think, here, but incredible. And in the other table between Stanford and AlphaZero, it looks like Stanford. Actually, there's one game still going between International Master Alex Costello and National Master Seth Taliansky, which could decide the match, because it looks like everything is tied. And let's go to that and see what's going on there. Or is that match over? I just don't see the result. Let's see here. I think that match might be. Oh, the results getting entered as I speak, and they drew their match with AlphaZero. Robert Shlechtenko won on board 1 for AlphaZero. Emily Nguyen drew with Keaton Kira. Alex Costello drew with Seth Taliansky, but Robbie Selwyn of Stanford won board 4. So they drew their match, which sort of helps the UC Berkeley B team, because that puts another 2 teams only a half-point gain. So that is in the books. It looks like all the games from the top section are in.
Wow.
Looking at the bottom section, and just going over what I see in the for the team, the Carmel A team in the under 1800 section were playing 100% ladies, and it looks like they won. Lauren Goodkind is still playing, but the ladies won, beat Carmel A. So I think and that game just ended. Lauren Goodkind, she lost, but the team wins anyway.
In first place.
So they're going to be in first place, it looks like. Fantastic.
An all-women's team in first place.
In the under 1800, yeah.
Fantastic.
They're strong. So we got a couple of other games going, but those will be ending soon. And what a round, everyone. Dramatic finishes for the UC Berkeley Civil War match. Rook versus 2 knights, and
2 games. That was just insane.
had all the highs and lows. and the same with the ending of the San Jose Warriors against Caltech. Just two games that everything was on the line, and kudos to the kids from the San Jose Chess Club Warriors. It looks like they will be playing UC Berkeley Team B for the title, because if they were to beat them, they would be clear first. And the same for UC Berkeley. So
everything's on the line.
Everything's on the line. I'm pretty sure that's what the results are and what it'll show. The final round is going to start at 4:30, not 4 p.m. It'll start at 4:30 p.m. So we're going to start our coverage at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Gotcha.
Okay. So for everyone watching, the final round the 1800 plus championship section will start at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. The broadcast will start at 5 p.m. Pacific. And the under 1800 section will also have a start delay of 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure of that, and make sure you mark the time. So Paul and Nick, we will be back at 5 p.m. and get the final round, the championship round, and let's see who comes out on top at the U.S. Amateur Team West.
An exciting finish.
Exciting finish and exciting chess. And you know, the thing is, like, how exciting was it to have that much drama after so much chess in the weekend, right? It's like they still had enough fight in them to deliver a round like that. And just had
the two knights versus rook thing was just ridiculous.
And, you know, just kudos to the Berkeley team for fighting it out when, you know, they easily could have just agreed to draw and gone home, but provided some action, exciting chess, and a whole lot of fun. So we will be back shortly, and I think Collegiate Chess has rated us twice, so I think we're going to reciprocate and show them a little love. And everyone come back here, 5 p.m. Pacific, for the final round, the championship round, and we'll see who wins the U.S. Amateur Team West. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in a little bit.
Remember, folks, always check. It might be mate.